afternoon, everyone. We meet now in the post-lunch session. So very interesting previous discussion on HR's contribution towards nation building. HR, in terms of capacity building, I think it's a very, very important and relevant area. I worked myself in TCS for almost 15 plus years, and this is one possibly Indian multinational company which set the tone for capacity building, not just as for the individual company, but almost started an industry on its own, you know. So many of the TCS people went outside, they joined other companies, Wipro, Infosys, etc. And the entire industry went across, you know. And the models for recruitment, models for training, models for learning and development, all that happened, you know. And that is the power of capacity building, I would say. And we have a very, very great panel with us. And many aspects of capacity building we want to ask. So I'll ask first, go on the question of personalization. So the question is how personalization is increasingly becoming important in HR, and how can organizations employ personalized HR approaches to cater to the unique needs and aspirations of employees. So I'll maybe request Ms. Priyanka ji to continue, please.
Thank you, Doctor. Firstly, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you to Business World for having us here. And good afternoon to all my lovely panelists sitting here. We are a small audience, so hence we can take the privilege of engaging a little much more. So first, before answering the question on personalization, let me go back to history of HR and say, was there no personalization earlier? Let me just ask the audience. Yes, no, maybe? Guys, it's after lunch, I know, but do you think there was personalization earlier? Yes. It's just that the scale has increased so much more that personalization became difficult in the mid-era. And now with technology, etc., personalization is possible. But let's go to the fundamental question of why personalization is required. I mean, why do we need personalization? We spoke in the other panels as well that the workforce today is looking for not just salary being a very important component, but not just salary. It is looking, as we call, vibe, which is that can we make visible our work? You know, everybody is looking for visibility, not just in social media, but in terms of their work as well. So vibe, V for visibility, I for impact of work. You know, today even an intern who joins in wants to make sure that whatever they're doing is impactful itself. B for balance. We're all looking for balance in life, whether be at work, whether be it professional, whether be learning capabilities and other things. And E for entrepreneurship mindset in terms of having that freedom to do what we want to do. So with that vibe, you need that personalization also to find out what is it that employees really want. For example, when you had lunch, it was not just one Indian meal which was served. There were various other options as well. So can we as HR provide that buffet of services, provided we know what they want? So hence the technology can help us to find out what exactly employees are looking for. So the second part of my question, I'll come to how personalization and the uses of personalization from recruitment to onboarding. But I think the biggest use case that at least I have seen, and we've worked with various clients, is around learning. Because everybody's learning path or the persona is going to be very different. And therefore, can we have different kind of learning paths for different people? Can we have different outcomes for them while they are learning itself? And therefore, can the career progression, we're working with a client where we are working on career paths or career outcomes of different people, how one doesn't want to be in sales, or somebody wants to be more technical, or somebody wants to be more in a directorship role. Now, how can you create these three different paths using personalization is another big use case. I'll come to my personal example. I'm an avid national level bridge player. Technology helps me. It actually becomes the Jambavan. Any of you heard of Jambavan? The Ramayan story, thank you. The Ramayan story where, the wise bear was able to tell Hanuman that you have superpowers. Superpowers to change your size, to do things you've never thought of doing. So can we reach personalization to that level where it's not that people are asking for it? We can even tell them about their blind spots, about things that they didn't know existed. So those superpowers, if we can tell as HR to people, whether be it in segments or whether it be individuals, I think the role would have reached much more than what we've ever imagined. So that's the kind of personalization that I think technology can enable. There, I can talk about a lot more use cases, but I'll hand it over to the other panel members to talk about. But as I said, it's the entire employee journey from onboarding, recruitment to actual exit where personalization can be used. More importantly, we need to know why we want to use it, so the strategy of it. Do we have process to sustain it? Thirdly, do we have governance to measure everything around it? And fourthly, the technology. So 4 pieces that we need even before enabling personalization is extremely important. Thank you.
So what I also feel is that in many of the times, one size fits all strategies possibly may not work because every individual may have their different talent needs, and increasingly with the adoption of technology, one can develop personalized solutions. Mr. Prashant, you would like to give any comments?
I think very interesting points, Priyanka, that you made. I love the Jamwan story. I think all I can add over here is, first of all, doesn't it seem nice to be in this really nice fancy hotel, the Imperial, Janpat Lane? Well, I get goosebumps every time I, get into a hotel because 21 years with hospitality industry. And that's the example, let me quote to all of you. Hotel industry is all about personalization. I'm not with the hotel industry anymore, but it's all about personalization, all about customization because every need is different. But going a little beyond that, if you notice, if you walk down the corridor of this hotel or any luxury hotel in the city, there are people coming to you, all right? If you're standing in the lobby alone, confused, somebody is going to come to you and say, can I help you? May I be of any assistance? And I think in a way, that's something all of us can really learn from for our employees. We talk about personalization, we talk about customization. More importantly, I think what I've been hearing for the last so many years is now the experience part of it. That, from satisfaction to engagement to employee experience, everyone has a different need. Somebody needs personalization, somebody just says, leave me alone, I'll come to you when I need help. On that point, I think all I can say is that the biggest service we can do from a personalization point of view is help each of our employees, irrespective of their level, irrespective of the hierarchy in the system, is how their work contributes to the purpose of the company. I still feel we don't do that enough. If we could as leaders, and not just HR, business together, help each person understand that if you stop doing what you're doing today, we'd not be the company we are. And that's important where everybody feels that this is the contribution I make to the purpose of my company. And that for me is personalization. That am I connected through my work? And then, of course, all the tools that come in to help me on that journey.
Okay, thanks. Mr. Rakesh, you'd like to come?
Yeah, I think I'm audible now. So the question here is that what is it that companies can do to personalize, the approach towards the employee engagement? So, one of the things that I remember that there's an app called Elsa app, and Elsa app is where people hooked onto to improve their English language communication skills. And especially in the context of aviation, for the people who are at the entry level, there are two languages that are required for them to be at least proficient on. One is English and the other is Hindi, and Hindi generally we speak. So in English, we have seen this is right on the ground that people benefit from these kind of apps, because these apps recently that have come in, I don't know how old is Elsa, but post-COVID we have seen most of these applications coming in. And these have truly helped personalize, the interventions of the organization, especially in the space of skilling. And, I saw it's a wonderful app, and, you get yourself diagnosed at which level do you stand. Then the app will tell you that, okay, which level you need to go to. Then there will be some questions, then there will be some homework, and then you come back, and then you, complete your final assessment. So what is happening, these kind of technology, the personalization is very, very intensified, and is actually helping people, because people do not want to get into the classes right now. I am telling you what I have heard from the folks who are on ground, that they like and they enjoy these kind of opportunities if given by the organization. In terms of skilling, this was one of the apps that I said. I also spoke to a company that is based out of Australia, and they have a wonderful application where the entire skilling journey can be taking place, and you can either customize it or you can have it as per the recommendations of that organization. And it's a beautiful one, and we tried to give it to some of our employees as a test, and they truly thoroughly enjoyed it. So I think when people, especially in the aviation industry, when they are working at their own space, for the cabin crew who are working up in the air, they need their own time, their leisure time to go ahead and take up these opportunities, and I think that really works well. The second thing, I think, one is learning. Of course, this is what I said in terms of the apps that are there in the market. The second thing is health and wellness. I think after COVID, people have realized that they've spent a lot of money reactively after they became unwell, and now they know that we need to proactively take care of our health and be fit to do our jobs. One of the report, which is Urban Depository Survey report of 2022, says that the depositors, who are these young guys who want to spend more on health and wellness. And that has recently come up. We did a survey in our organization to figure out what people think about health and wellness. Earlier, when the mental health was never even spoken about, today that's one of the most important discussions that happens across the globe. And I think, again, there are various kind of opportunities that app-based services that people have, which, if given to the employees, I think that builds a very healthy, competitive space where people are not compelled to go and do their blood pressure check, people are not compelled to do their blood test, lipid profile, but it happens automatically in the app, because app is giving you that prompt to go and check yourself, because then you know what is going to be the consequence. So I think these kind of interventions in two spaces, one is education and health and wellness, truly motivates the employee, truly makes them engaged in the organization. Because post-COVID, I think since morning, Priyanka was saying that there were various sessions where people spoke about how things shaped up after COVID, which I don't want to dig into, otherwise all of you will run away. But the matter of fact is that now people at least know the power of technology. They have used it. There has been a first-hand usage, and the adoption was faster. And the new gen today likes to be in the apps, likes to be in the social media, likes to be very, very popular, likes to show that they have had some achievements, whether it is in social media, whether it is to their friends, colleagues, or their loved ones.
Agniwesh, if you'd like to add further on.
Yeah, and this is strange when you already think of the topics and points, and your previous speakers has already covered it, then you are left with no choice. So probably I'll give some different spin to the question on the personalization. Personalization is what? When I talk about this, what you say, it means that what is in for me, right? How can I connect myself, or how can I be myself in this game, right? So look at the technology. Just example of, if I give out technology part. So in learning, what we are doing, we are trying. Let's say my learning style is that I like audio-visual stuff. Somebody else's learning style is something different, right? So what happens? Let's say if I'm if I'm investing in a technology, or if I'm providing a platform where a learner can go and give certain answers based on his assessment, automatically your content can change. It will be PDF form or ebook or in terms of content. So this is called hyper personalization, because what is in for me, right? If I'm building capability for this organization or providing from my employees, I need to look at, as rightly he says, that on well-being part. What is looking for me, right? Be it having your wearables, or be it having an individual plan for you so that you go and do these activities will really help. Most important part when we look at the personalization in terms of rewards and recognition as well, right? If you look at how you are curating those rewards, which may give them intrinsic value to the employees and stuff. So these are the things that we need to look at, because most of the things has been already covered by our fellow panelists.
So very, very interesting insights on what you mean by personalization in HR. As mentioned, that the scale has increased on a very, very large number of employees we have. And still, we may like to customize HR solutions either for an employee or a larger cohort, and try to help the employees, try to connect with them, and try to link skilling and education and health, those individual, because increasingly there's a focus on health and fitness and welfare. And as mentioned, that what's in it for me, and different employees may have different needs. And increasingly the technology and apps help us to identify those needs and to customize the solution, So it possibly won't be a one-size-fits-all, because that, I would say, would be suboptimal. And optimal solution will be more hard work, more finding the needs and then offering those solutions. Like, for example, at IMT, many of our faculty members have different needs, Some may be interested in developing cases, so they may have a different flavor. Some may be interested in, doing research papers. Some may be doing research projects, or so. Based on their needs, we give them opportunities across the globe, and then they can keep on developing themselves in those areas. So I think it's a very, very important point on personalization of HR. The second point which we have, which I think all of us have faced, and I'd like to get some interesting insights from the panel, is that increasingly most of the HR processes have got automated across almost. Even in small scale organizations, they are automated. Large scale anyway, they are automated, And in those situations, what is the role of HR as well as the business to give human touch to the employees? Like we all remember the Zoom meetings from pandemic with family and friends, but increasingly I don't think so. Besides official Zoom meetings, you meet people on Zoom, family and friends. So where is the need for the human touch? Because sometimes the confidence, the trust develops more with the human touch. So how do you balance your increasingly automated HR processes with this particular need? Maybe I'll just start midway. Mr. Rakesh, you'd like to comment? Yeah.
Sorry, would you be please able to summarize that question?
Yeah. So increasing automation in HR processes, how do you strike a balance between technology-driven efficiency and maintaining human touch?
Yeah. I think one thing has definitely not fizzled off, and that is the human connect. In organizations where you have people at a very young age, I think the technology becomes the enabler. And as I gave example of various apps where you invest in their education, invest in their health and wellness. But the human connect will always precede or supersede than anything else. And that's what we have seen in the real time, in real time. In an organization, I think anything that truly works in terms of getting the employee better engaged is that connect. And therefore, more of those human connects, the town halls, the people connect, the one-on-ones, the skip levels, have truly worked towards bettering the engagement levels and bettering the engagement scores. Vis-a-vis, at a point in time when pre-COVID, because COVID was the time when the maximum human connect happened, whether it is virtually, whether it is over phone or whatsoever it is. And that's where we saw a huge shift in terms of the employee engagement. I think then, and that point in time when people reach out to us, they also have this ask and a better understanding when there is that human connect element available. Technology can give a certain level of intervention, but I think nobody can take away that human connect. And this is something that I'm reporting right from what we face as an organization with about 35,000 employees.
Maybe request Priyanka, then you can come here, please.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'll start with a number because it's important to look at data and numbers as well. $1 trillion is lost. $1 trillion is lost in the global economy, which is equivalent to GDP of so many countries because of work-related stress. Work-related stress, one of the major reasons, and this is a World Health Organization report, one of the major reasons is no connect, no care at the workplace. $1 trillion, that's 1/3 of the GDP of our own country globally is lost. So how do you ensure that care at workplace? It's $1 billion or $1 trillion question. There is no formula for it. There is no formula to say that I draw a quadrant and say these are the 5 things you should connect with your employees for and these are the 4 things you shouldn't. The connect comes with genuine care, genuine collaboration, and ensuring that you have policies and structures in place that it happens automatically rather than just few individuals' process or intent. So we cannot leave organizations to intent, and hence those structures are definitely important, definitely the town halls that you spoke about, definitely the communication that happens in larger meetings. But I think it's also the small teams that each one of us is managing, and it can't be just HR as it was said in the earlier panel as well. It has to be a joint effort with business and HR, but I think it's HR's work to ensure that you can draw that out, the attention of the CEO and the business, to ensure that they know that whether the connect is happening or not and how many people are not connected. Of course, technology can predict a lot these days, but I think as gut and as HR people, we ourselves can also predict a lot there as well. So data with gut to say how much is happening, ensure the business knows about it, and then have structured processes to ensure that the care and connect happens.
So increasingly what possibly is happening is, as there was 100% online during pandemic, and the organizations, I guess, are rediscovering that there is a balance required, there is a hybrid mode. You cannot have 100% online, and possibly many times solutions emerge when you meet and connect, So maybe you'd like to, Prashant, you were wanting to. So it's the same question on HR, automation and human touch. Yeah.
So, I represent a very different industry over here, logistics. So let me first start off by telling you a workforce of about 58,000 people on roll and another 35,000 gig or off roll. Now, what that challenges me to do is to, first, more than anything else, my ability or the leadership ability to reach out. In an organization with that kind of size, it's very easy for people, at various levels to get disconnected from what's really happening at the center. And I think that's where the human touch, that we're talking about, gets replaced by technology. That today, are we able to use technology to reach the last person in the organization? That's the first question we need to ask ourselves, that what is the purpose that technology is serving? if it's helping me connect, reach out, forget any other touch, reach out to the last person and keep her or him informed, yes. Now, once you've answered that question, the second is then, how am I communicating? And that's where I think the human touch comes in place. And let me give you an example. Yesterday, so, for us, season is starting. When I say season, all you lovely, good people over here with Diwali coming, I'm sure you're going to be doing a lot of e-commerce shopping. Please do that. We all want you to do that. So when you order from a Flipkart, when you order from an Amazon or a Myntra, our girls and boys will come and deliver that, to your house. Our fleet of trucks will transport it across the country. So all courier services, etc. So please do that. The point is, when yesterday, for a town hall, I went with all my HR leaders to a place called Farooq Nagar, which is one of our hub and pre-processing highly automated center. So it's like from unloading from the truck, a parcel which has come from Srinagar and now has to go to Surat, everything is automated. Still, I have a workforce, in about a 5.5, 6 lakh square feet facility, about 600, 700 odd people. And those people, for them, their bread and butter is simplicity, not anything else. For them, it is how easy is it for me to understand what is coming from where, scan it, and put it to where it has to go. And that's where the technology comes in place. The human touch is, what kind of a facility am I providing them? What kind of people do I have in the place who understand their pain? And when I did a town hall with them, there are about close to 400 people sitting cross-legged on the floor. Okay, unlike how it's sitting over here. And it was such an emotional moment when I saw all the other, leaders who were accompanying me, prepping people for the season, just occupy their same space on the floor. That for me was the highest form of a human touch. That where the management of the facility said, no, these are senior leaders which have come from the headquarters, let's have nice chairs, sofas for them. Like you'd usually see for any of us, everybody parked themselves on the floor. The point I'm trying to make is that, it's those little actions, it's those little gestures, which we as leaders, demonstrate on a day-to-day basis, that keep the human, touch alive. And it's not just limited to, one-on-one conversations.
Why I was waiting, because I didn't want it to be last, because all those topics was already covered,
I
right?
think you definitely had something new. Yeah.
That's right. So I'll try to give it with a story, right? Look at this. See, high tech, high touch. I worked for Accenture, extremely high tech organization. We hardly used to go to office in last 10 years, right? COVID happened later, but we never used to go to office. But still, what was the human touch element? One was trust, right? Trust that I will be taken care, trust that I'll be heard, right? And there will be no retaliation and nothing else, right? And then second was listening. Is your organization listening? Is your people leader, is your manager listening? Because it's a huge organization. Let's say if I'm talking about 700,000 employees, like organization, so you cannot have, reach to everyone, right? You can do town halls, all the mediums, but still, for an individual, I really don't care. I'm an employee, I have some issues, I need to reach out to somebody who need to listen to me first. So do we have somebody who will listen to me? You cannot listen, you cannot go and talk to your bot and EAP and stuff like that, but at least is there care? So trust, care and listening is extremely powerful tool for any of the human touch. If we do that, high tech is just enabling you to do your smart work, right? Transactional work, but transformation happens only when we are doing human touch. Just one example, and then I'll close this. One of my leader, whenever I go to him, he was super busy. But what he used to do, he used to look at my face. Even there's a scheduled meeting, he used to close his laptop, he used to turn around, and then he used to talk to me for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it's time. Think of it now. How many times your employee came, you have set aside your laptop, you have set aside your mobile phone, and you have spoken to the person, be it in our family setting or be it anybody. So what is happening? The basic respect we are not giving to ourselves, or neither to person who is coming to us asking me for help or even for a conversation. So the basic civility, if you show, the human touch will always be there. Because even if you are, what is happening now you are on Zoom call and you will see that 10 people are looking at you, 10 people are slowing down and fiddling on the phones. So then we expect how high touch will happen. Human touch is again, it's art driven. We have to show the respect, and at the same time we need to lead by example. That's why we are able to make that connect with happen. Yeah.
Thanks. And many times I feel that many of the problems which cannot be solved through these processes, because processes are very straight, defined by algorithms, can be solved by meeting together. And Mr. Rakesh, please.
I just want to add something. I am also a coach, so a lot of people invest, though I do pro bono, but a lot of people invest so much of money in trying to speak out because there's no one to listen. And that's what most of the organizations have realized today, that you need someone to listen. Creating a coaching structure, creating a sort of a mentoring structure where there are people to listen to you, and that makes a huge lot of impact on the employees. In fact, in our organization, we have created a coaching structure with the senior level in the cabin crew department, and they have somebody or the other to reach out to in case of they have anything to discuss. It could be their personal matter, professional matter. It could be their angst against anyone else, any grouse, and that really helps them to ease out their stress. I think stress is the biggest factor, and one of the biggest stress that we see today, that's at the workplace. And the companies who have been able to do a good job in creating a very good coaching structure and let people express their stress out to someone or the other in the organization have done really very well.
Thank you. So we have just 3 minutes left, as you can see the watch here. But I'll still extract my value from that time. My last question is how HR structures must be agile to dynamic demands of the VUCA world or whatever you call it. So maybe 40 seconds or 50 seconds per person, if you can. Priyanka, you can start, please. Okay, please, this side can start,
The question was structure.
HR. How HR structures must be agile to dynamic demands of the world.
So when I was studying 20 years back, we used to talk no HR or no HR, right? No business or no business, right? Since that time till today, I have not seen anybody is talking anything else. They say you should know the business. From past 16, 17 years, I am representing business now, right? Part of the different table where HR is my customer, right? And when we see that what exactly is do, right? Let's say if I say that I need a data scientist, right? So what is happening when I'm talking about data scientist? Do my HR partner or recruiter, do they really know what exactly I need in terms of attitude, skills, or what happens? They just Google it out, put some JD, get it reviewed by some of my technical guys, and then say, fine, go for the interview, right? And they screen and stuff like that. So what I mean to say here, that unless we know the business, see, this is still, even the same thing you might be also facing with your own employees, own HR people, or own HR professional itself, that many times there is a lot of resistance in understanding the terminology itself. Again, which I keep telling to people, that if you don't know how to, if you're a car driver, you don't need to be automobile engineer. You need to art of possibility, right? So any structure that we need to look at, because fast changing world, everything will change. In the morning, since we're talking about AI, GPT, in three months, multiple, million subscriptions, stuff like, because while we speak, there might be Chat GPT 5 is there. While I step out from the hotel, some different technology has come up, right? And some different business scenario has only come up, right? The new world order has emerged. So how we are going to have this structure? Couple of things. One, that let our fundamentals be strong, based on integrity and empathy, right? This is thing, and then we can look at any structure can change and we can align with our business strategy and stuff like that. That's why I'm saying, which Yuvraj also saying on, that it will have to be contextual.
Yeah. So I think I'll just say one thing. HR structure has to be very contextual, because content is the king and context is King Kong.
I think for me, I know all of us, everybody's been saying that the HR structure has to be aligned to the business. Business is what I've heard. And I couldn't but agree more. However, I have a very counterintuitive thought to it. We've all grown up in a country where our biggest value, or one of the values taught down to us by our ancestors, is Atithi Devo Bhava. I come from a service background where everything is about Seva Bhav. Okay? For me, as oriented as the structure of HR needs to be to business, my HR structure needs to be focused on serving my employees. If I don't have a structure which is providing seva to the employees, no matter how aligned I am to business, my structure will fail. I will never be able to get the best talent or retain that talent. So for me, a service-oriented seva culture towards employees is the HR structure that I'm trying to create in my organization.
For me, it's about balance. It's about balance between business and balance between employees. It's a balance between moving from just profit to purpose. It is balance between moving from just shareholders to stakeholders. And as humanity or history has seen, we as people have worked in communities. And that's where we've survived as Homo sapiens, and don't want to get more into history, but as communities, when we work on a certain goal, we survive and do much better. So I think structurally also, rather than just being hierarchical, we need to move into a star-shaped or constellation-shaped or group or community structures where each one, irrespective of what the rank in the organization is, has a role to play to achieve that goal. So I think that's the structure eventually we'll all move to, which is community-based and more goal-based rather than just hierarchical.
So I thank the esteemed panel on these very important points and insights. So thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much.